Testing, test. All right. Well, guys, welcome in. I have to always move my microphone over to the other computer. Yeah, Pam Bondi, it's not good. It's not good at all. I don't know how you're not prepared for at least a few of those questions. I mean, ugh. Hard to blame her with the BS. I mean, obviously, if you know about the context of it, it's all disingenuous bullshit, but the administration just looks bad. She didn't handle it very well at all. She just doesn't really know how to communicate well. You can tell in terms of the way she talks. It's just combative. It's a bitchy attitude. It's not good. It's not good at all. But it's like she wanted to be combative with the people. I mean, they have no answers for any of these people. The entire thing's a mess with Epstein. They're not revealing more information. You understand some of the Howard Ludnick stuff needs to be addressed. Well, he lied about his relation to Epstein. It's terrible, man. I mean, number one, your neighbor's to Epstein, then you're gonna lie about your relationship, and apparently he said the last time he communicated or talked to him was like 7 years before it was actually proven in the files. And obviously he had a relationship with Epstein. To what extent, I mean, that can be speculated, but I think it's pretty clear that it's not good. Trump should fire her and appoint someone else. Yeah, but then it's a bad look for the administration. I mean, you can do that, but you make her the fall guy, or I guess the fall girl. I was thinking about that, but again, it's just going to make the administration look bad. They just fire her. And because the thing is at the end of the day, she's just a bad communicator, but it's the same shit. I mean, if somebody else came in, they'd be saying the exact same shit, probably, maybe a little bit more sanitized, but they'd probably be saying the same shit. The cabinet is falling apart. I mean, I don't know. I think maybe Bondi is gonna be gone, but I don't know about the other people. Trevor's so focused on doing the thing that looks the least bad and ends up being the worst. Well, I mean, this Epstein stuff is just they've handled it terribly. I mean, I don't really know what else to say about it. First it was Cash Patel, now Bondi. Yeah, I mean, Cash Patel has had his level of ineptness a little bit. I mean, he's struggled a bit too. But yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of speculation that Bondi is going to be gone or Ludnick is going to be gone. How would you handle it if you're Trump, fire her, or Ludnick? I don't know. Either way, it's a bad look. You fire people, it's gonna make your cabinet picks look terrible. You picked the wrong people. But I mean, whatever the internal numbers say on what to do. I mean, she seems incompetent in terms of being able to communicate well. That's what it seems like to me with Bondi. At the when you're the AG, you can do certain stuff, but it seems like she really is on a leash, and they just tell her exactly what to do. There needs to be some level of independence. I don't think she really. I think she's just kind of a robot at her job. I don't think there's any real movement to where she aggressively goes after things. I think she has to be forced. People tell her what to do, and there's no real like she doesn't roam for things or anything like that, or like different cases. It just seems like everything is very robotic with her. The Bondi hearing was awful. Bondi is shit. I mean, I can't dispute it. I don't know why they wouldn't. I mean, think about that. Even if you have nothing, like let's say you're going to handle those questions the way they did, to where it's just filibustering and then they start talking about the whataboutism that doesn't have to do with Epstein. You've got to at least appear more likable than that, if that's what you're going to do. You can't appear as a bitch and then do that, because you're giving no answers and it just looks even worse. But I mean, it's whatever. It's a hearing or. You think the whole administration is protecting pedos? Well, I mean, so did the last administration. Even, I mean, you should be 10 times as angry about. And I'm not even saying this to sound like a douchebag. The Democrats, they didn't do anything. And what about the voters? They didn't threaten. They didn't call for the. They didn't pressure their own party to do anything either. So at least Republicans have done something about this. I mean, it's terrible what's happened with this Epstein stuff, but I'm gonna really start saying that with to these liberals if they keep talking about protecting pedos. I mean, they did it 10 times worse. At least it's now coming out because of Republicans. Who do you think should replace Pam Bondi? I don't know. It's not gonna be Gates. Why did Bitcoin crash? Because Bitcoin operates in cycles. And they said there was no liquidity. Who knows, man? It's always something. They just say it's manipulation every time it goes down or up. It's just manipulation. It never used to be like that, but now it's like that. I guess because there's institutional money involved. But no, it operates in cycles. It doesn't really actually surprise me that it went down. People think it's going to keep going down until maybe the summer or the fall. Voter ID. Yeah, voter ID is never going to happen. That SAVE Act isn't going to happen because they got to eliminate the filibuster. They got to get 60 senators. It's not going to, unless they get rid of the filibuster, they can't get it. I mean, these Democrats are entrenched in not voting for it. It gets through the House, but it's not going to get through the Senate. I think there's a few Republicans that might even not vote for the SAVE Act. I don't know. We'll see. But it's crazy. I mean, and I looked up the SAVE Act, and it's just the most ridiculous thing. It's got 80% total support, and you just have to show a real ID, because people are like, well, you need to update your ID, and people don't want to do that. I don't even have a real ID. I have a normal ID, but if you get a real ID, you can travel outside the country and all this stuff. And you go to the DMV, and I don't like going to the DMV, but it's like, what does it even matter? Get a real ID. It takes 15 minutes or whatever, 30 minutes. I have to update my ID anyways. But I was wondering, because they kept saying, well, you need to fish out and find your birth certificate or something. That's not even true. It's just you just need to have a real ID or a birth certificate or a passport, but it's not, you don't need like a passport to show that. You could use a real ID when you register, which, I mean, that's obviously how it should be. You have to prove that you're a citizen so you can vote in elections. If we've got all these illegal immigrants, this massive population, obviously we need to make it to where we got to make sure you're a legal citizen. It's not. This is not a hard thing. I mean, this is a first world country type maneuver when you say, well, yeah, we got to make sure you're a legal citizen so you can vote. I mean, all the European countries do this. This is why it's got 80% support. And these Democrats, they don't even really have a coherent argument. You listen to these arguments, it doesn't even make sense what they're saying. They're saying you need a passport. No, you just need a real ID. Nancy Guthrie. I mean, I saw that they're trying to find the person or the people. The people are. I think that they're demanding bitcoins that kidnapped the old lady. Yeah, it's a terrible situation. I mean, we'll see what comes of it. Thank you for the advice on the honey. Even Mexico has voter ID. Oh, like every country has voter ID. That's why it's got 80% bipartisan support. For something to have 80% bipartisan support, I mean, this is a crazy thing. The Democrats, this is insane gaslighting when they try and argue against this. Insane. No proof of life at all means she's probably not alive. Yeah, and also I'm sure they're very suspicious of AI and stuff like that. Even if they do show a video of her, yeah, it's that's a big problem. I mean, but what would be the point of holding her? I mean, you would lose leverage at that point. What's the weather going to be like this weekend? I think it's supposed to be actually warmer, like legit in the 40s. It's supposed to be. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me that this is finally happening here, but it's supposed to be a prolonged period to where it's in the 40s. Yeah, dude, people always do that where they're like, oh, this is a conspiracy about the Guthrie situation because they try and like pierce through every little thing. I mean, I see a lot of stuff about Erica Kirk that's insane still. I mean, I feel like people are just bored and they're constantly online, and so they have to create theories because again, it's like there's this human emotion of like feeling like you know more than other people about things. That's what conspiracies are. And I mean, a lot of them are true, some of them are, but it's I mean, I see a lot of the Guthrie stuff, and it just seems like low IQ, low hanging. Like, come on. I mean, it's like if they don't, if it, no matter which way the family reacts, they're gonna say, well, they're faking it or something. You want me to try a carnivore diet? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. A carnivore diet, it's. I would definitely have to restructure my eating completely. So you just eat steak basically forever. What do you eat once a day? What do you eat? Steak and fruit, or is it just straight meat? Yeah, now they're saying that she got rid of his photo and stuff. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, what happened to Charlie Kirk was just horrible. I mean, I like the whole stuff. It just seems like a grift against Erica Kirk. I don't know. No matter what way Erica Kirk, unless she became like a recluse and just made one public appearance. I mean, I will say, the amount of public appearances she made was pretty surprising. But steak, eggs, bacon, cream, dairy, fruit. You only eat at dinner time. That would be a challenge for me, dude. When I wake up, I'm really hungry. I mean, I think I'd get if I only ate at dinner time. That's what a lot of people do. They fast throughout the entire day. I don't know what it is when I wake up. I'm very hungry. I'd have to change my body clock on like food to where I'm not so hungry in the morning because I really don't like eating much at night. So when you sleep, you don't have to digest much food. Did you watch the Goy Bowl? I mean, I watched a little of it. It was just boring. Typical breakfast. Well, I eat at like 11 or noon. I don't eat right, and I don't like breakfast food. So I'll eat early lunch at like 11 a.m. is what I do normally now. Actually, I mean breakfast food is fine. Bacon and eggs are good. I just don't normally eat it. I mean, think about three. You segment 3 meals. I mean, that's a lot. Normally, I just have 2 meals basically. Do intermittent fasting. Yeah, I mean, that used to be a big thing. Intermittent fasting. I mean, it can help, I guess. It just depends on the person. Because intermittent fasting, I mean, it's you still eat every day. It's just in a window. So to me, that's not even really fasting. If you're eating, because people say they have an 8 hour window when they eat. Well, that's like most of the day, anyways. Because you're sleeping for 8 hours or 7 hours, and you're eating for 8 hours, so you're basically just fasting. I think for like another 8 hours. I mean that's kind of how I view intermittent fasting. You wake up at 3:30 a.m. starving. Yeah, normally I'm able to sleep through the night. I normally am a really heavy sleeper. Favorite NFL team, Browns. Thoughts on cardio? Heard it contributes to losing muscle. Now cardio is very good. I used to do a ton of cardio. I used to do the stairmaster. I used to do the stepper. I never gotten. I keep running is tough on your joints. It's better to walk, honestly, but you're gonna burn more calories if you run. Yeah, cardio is good, but obviously, if you're trying to gain weight, you're trying to put on muscle. Yeah, you're gonna. But the thing is, man, what I really think with cardio burns a lot more fat than it does muscle. Cardio will attack the fat, and I'm not just saying that. Seriously, you'll probably retain a lot of the muscle you do cardio. It'll just attack the fat. You go to bed at 3:30, dude. I was going to bed at. I remember one night I actually put a tweet or whatever on a community post, and they deleted it. YouTube deleted it. I was like, why the fuck I'm up at 4:30 a.m. or something? I was up at like 3:30, 4 a.m. many times, like right around Christmas, because I couldn't get a good sleep schedule. Now, thankfully, it hasn't happened. Now I've been able to fall asleep at like 1, pretty much, or honestly at like 12:30. Now I'm sleeping like 12:30 to 7:30, honestly, which is pretty good. 24-hour stream. Honestly, I'm fine with doing like a 6 hour stream if something happens with Iran. But other than that, there's no way I can do a longer stream. It's there's nothing to talk about. Big thing about Vivek, his parents weren't naturalized citizens, having him in the well, he'd be an anchor baby. I think there's something like his dad was a citizen, his mother wasn't, or something like that. That's the story with Vivek. 2024. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be like that at all. 2024, when I got all the views, was because of the election. I mean, that's a general election. That's way bigger than midterms. 'Bondi is lucky she's hot or she'd be fired by now. Yeah, I mean, the Trump has an affinity for blondes. I don't know, man. She's just not good at her job, and but he doesn't want to fire her. There's a lot of public support. It's constant public support, so I don't think he is gonna fire her. I mean, Ludwig might be an issue because he lied directly about the Epstein thing, and it got exposed in the files. I mean, it's the files are such a mess, man. I can't even like because you don't know what to believe. The administration is not handling it well. Now you have Bondi basically skirting every question she gets asked, and on top of that, she's doing a whataboutism on like the stock market doing well. I mean, could there be a better strategy? Could somebody in public relations tell her and coach her how to answer these questions better than pivoting from Epstein to the stock market? Because that's just a bad look. I mean, the one time she pivoted and she was like, "Well, what about the last administration?" And you'll be able to get them on that. But even that's a whataboutism. But at least that has more of a basis to where you can say, well, the last administration completely covered it up. I mean, technically, the Trump administration has shared 1,000 times more Epstein stuff than the Biden administration, albeit it's like pulling teeth. Yeah, I've seen the stuff about here, Starmer. I don't know what's going on with that, man. The way their electoral system works is really weird, I feel like, in the UK. It's just really fucking odd. But, they have really no party loyalty. Starmer has an approval rating of like 13%. It's not like here in the States to where we just have the two parties. They will. I've heard a lot of people say Britain, in terms of the way they are now, their demographics, it's just whoever gets in is automatically going to be hated on, and it's gonna be a mess. But Starmer does not look like a leader. He doesn't present himself as a leader. He's not a confident person. He's just chubby, like almost a variant of Chris Christie when you look at him. He just doesn't look like a confident person. That's not a leader. What are they doing electing him? I guess because they're liberals, they elect him, but it looks like even the liberals don't like him. The trans shooting, it's just terrible. And it keeps happening, and it's getting out of control with the amount of trans shooters there's been. I mean, this is like 4 out of the last 5 major shootings we've seen where it's in the news. And it's a public school or, a Christian school or whatever. This is getting insane. These numbers that are going to start coming out against this, it's crazy in terms of the amount of trans shootings there's been versus other, non-trans. It's and listen, this is what happens. I mean, these people are insanely depressed. You're giving the human body something that it wasn't designed to do, whether it's estrogen, the hormones, whatever. It wasn't a male body is not designed for estrogen. It's going to fuck up the brain in a bad way. I mean, it's just the reality. And so you're seeing it play out with aggression. And you're seeing these shootings. It's terrible. It's because the young liberals don't like the Labor Party and want the progressive left-wing populist Green Party. Oh, great. So they want something even more liberal. That's just awesome. That'll be awesome for Britain. So they want something even. So they basically say Starmer's like boomer liberal. He's not left enough. That's why they don't like him. That's disappointing. But I guess you can't be surprised with how liberal these European countries are. But U.S. House passes the SAVE Act by 5 votes. Bill moves to the Senate. Good luck. Yeah, I don't think this matters. The U.S. House passing bill to end the tariffs. That's not going to hold up. Yeah, these are the numbers. They try to do because of like Lanza and Harris and Klebold, they try to say white people just do all the shootings. It's really not true at all. It's sensationalized, especially recently, the past 5 years, past 10 years. What's even worse is Canada's police not even being able to mention it's a trans. Yeah, they said like a person shooter. I mean, it's the biggest joke. What was it? British Columbia. That was crazy too because that came out at night. I was like, wait, the kids are in school. It's like 7 o'clock at night. But I don't know. Maybe it was an after school program or I know they're like 3 hours behind. But yeah, it was terrible. I mean, that's a lot of casualties for that. It's Did you see Obama say voter ID oppressed the poor because they can't afford a passport? Yeah, but it doesn't even have anything to do with passports. I don't know why they keep talking about it. Well, number one, they think passports are like this big evil thing. And yeah, I mean, because I think they know that the act of getting a passport, technically, it does require, like, it takes like a month for it to come in the mail and stuff. But you don't even need a passport, you need a real ID. Just like when you renew your ID at the DMV, it's like you get a real ID. It's the same thing. So I don't know why they keep talking about a passport. As far as I know, you don't need to show them a passport. It's like they want to try and make it like this passport is like this ultimate evil. Like we're gonna run in fear if we see a passport. Like, what is the issue with a passport or obtaining a passport? Going to CVS, don't you get a passport at CVS or something? I mean, it's like, is this like a chemistry equation to to be able to locate a passport for a U.S. citizen? Can we accomplish this? Can we get a real ID? Would that be possible, or is that's a challenge? I'm a grown adult getting a real ID. I don't know. That's a scary one. Well, the thing is with the Asians, it's not it's they lump in the East Asians and apparently the Middle East as well. That's why the Asian number is that high. Life update vid with zombies. I just did that. I just did a life update video with zombies. I got a lot of zombies gameplay from my other channel. When I went on vacation in 2022, I had to get a passport. It was a pain in the ass because it was a time sensitive thing. That's the thing. You never want to be dealing with that when it comes to the renewals and the government. It's like, oh, you got to get an expedited passport and you pay more for it because we were going on vacation and I needed it by a certain time. Oh, you want like a dating update or that? I don't know about that. I was actually gonna do a video about I already did one about modern dating, but just more so on it. Which meme coins do you think will bounce back? It's a bad crypto winter. Let's just say that there's a lot of people dooming. I see they say meme coins are dead. They destroyed crypto. Trump destroyed crypto. People do this though, but I mean, some of the meme coins are not going to come back. It's hard to say which ones are going to stay. It really is. It's not a good situation. The only thing I can say is, poof, maybe DCA into the market. I can't even recommend that because I think it's going to keep going down. You can get a real ID if you're a legal immigrant. Passport or birth certificate would be the voter ID. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, legal immigrants are allowed to vote though. It's the illegals that are not. Legal immigrants that are naturalized can vote. Bitcoin is a very long-term investment. Well, it depends. I mean, if you time it by cycles, you could really multiply decently. But yeah, Bitcoin. I mean, what is Bitcoin really going to do? It's a higher risk gold. It's a higher risk gold. But now, I mean, even Bitcoin is looking kind of attractive. I was thinking maybe I just buy one or two Bitcoins, but it's like I don't know if I want to do that because you're talking about some really short gains if you do that, maybe like a 3 or 4x, and that's over the course of like 4 years. I mean, I guess it's better than an index fund. No legal immigrants that are not U.S. citizens can get a real ID. Yeah, but doesn't it say it has to specify on the ID? What do you mean legal well, they so they'd be legal, but they're not citizens yet. All right, maybe that's a bit of a curveball. But how many of those instances really are there? I feel like that's a little bit. So they're immigrants, so they're legal, but they're temporarily here, or they haven't been naturalized as citizens. Yeah, but shouldn't that be specified on the ID? I feel like they should specify that. But what you would think if you got like a real ID or whatever, they would be specified if you're a citizen or not. Right, that's what I thought. Legal immigrant, American citizen. Because think about it. If you're legal, that means you're a citizen, or I guess you could say they have a temporary visa and they have a pathway to citizenship. El Paso and Cuban airspace shutting down. Apparently, it was because of some type of drones that originated from Mexico. Some about the cartels in Mexico flew some drones into U.S. airspace over El Paso or something. So they shut down the airspace over there. And I think Trump's going to really strike those cartels, but we'll see. I don't know when that's going to happen. There's going to be something that happens with Cuba and the cartels in Mexico. Those are probably the next South operations, South American, Latin American operations, I would say. Cuba and Mexican cartels. Yeah, that's the problem. You're right, because it depends on the state. So everything has to be nationalized when it comes to overall, because it's a general election. That's the thing that never made sense to me is all these different rules. Like I understand and I support state rights and and stuff like that. But for something like this, if we have a general election, that's a national thing. So shouldn't we have national voting laws? Why would it be state by state if it's a national election? I understand if there's a state race, maybe you have your own certain laws, but if it's a national election, the general election, every state should have the same voting laws. They should all have voter ID. I mean, we're just trying to secure the elections. What's the big issue? Is it really this big of a problem? I don't think it's going to really bog down the voting process at all. But it's just in the registration. You have to show it on the registration to be able to register to vote. You would think that this would already be a thing that they would be doing, but yeah, I don't know why Massey would vote against the Save Act. It probably has something. He's probably going to say, well, it's a stipulation for something else. And he's always bitching about something. I'll say that much. You have a bright light. It's a light that I have here. I probably should get one of those actually. Those bigger lights that stands on its own. It would probably look better. Yeah, everyone is for voter ID, really. I mean, that's why it's got an 80% approval. No, I don't think it'll pass the Senate. They're not going to get to 60. They're not going to eliminate the filibuster. How does it pass the Senate otherwise? They might not even get to like 55, honestly. Like, think about it. There's Republicans that in the Senate, senators that may not vote yes on it. Massey for president. Yeah, I mean, what would he run as an independent? I don't think he'd do anything. He might raise some money. He might raise some money, but I don't think he'd do anything. It's like Andrew Yang 2.0. Maybe they kill the filibuster next. I mean, but shouldn't they? If they were going to do that, shouldn't that have already happened so they could utilize it the best? Because if you kill it, I mean, the cat's out of the bag. Imagine the liberals get the supermajority. You're fucked if it's been killed by Republicans. They can do whatever they want. Shouldn't they have aggressively just killed it immediately? after Trump won. I mean, this just seems like they're in disarray now. There's no game plan. Yeah, dude. Well, it is hilarious. They're gonna call out Republic, yeah, for blocking border security bills. 100%. They're the ones that they're the ones that reversed everything after Biden got in. But why would they even want border security? That's not even what they believe in. It's so pathetic. Like the only reason any Democrat will be like, "Yes, we need to have a secure border," is just because they want to win an election. They don't really believe it. Like their own party doesn't believe in borders. They say we have to have border security because they want to win elections. That's it. It's like the most disingenuous, stupid thing ever. Yeah, you're gonna secure the border. Okay, yeah. Pam Bondi needs to really work on communication because that was not good what she was doing today. Why don't you like the Twin Towers? The Twin Towers are infamous. I mean, the Twin Towers design is it was a dated design, there's no question. But certainly unique buildings of two massive buildings right next to each other like that. They should have rebuilt it as the glass Twin Towers. If they rebuilt the same thing, it would look really bad because of how dated the design is, but if they're built glass Twin Towers, I think it would be done well. But then they'd have that extra space. I mean, they can't even build two World Trade Center at this point because nobody wants a space. They can't get a tenant. I mean, this is getting pretty pathetic with Trump. I don't know what else to say. Did they say this? I don't know if this is correct. Trump and Netanyahu met for the seventh time in person. I mean, it's been like a year. This is like I don't know. How are you meeting 7 times already? It's a bit much. Thoughts on Trump closing down the U.S. Canada bridge in Detroit? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I saw that Canada wanted full ownership of the U.S. side or something. That's all I saw on that. So he wanted it. He didn't want it to happen. Bondi, Ludnick, Patel, Noam all need to go. I mean, they've definitely left. Noam is just kind of useless. I mean, there's just nothing there. Bondi is just she's like a robot and she has bad communication. Patel has been inept. I mean, in especially a lot of the incident stuff that we've seen from Patel, he's been pretty inept. And Ludnick is just Ludnick is it's next level bad with him because of the Epstein stuff and just why do you think Vance will win? Well, I mean, what do you want me to say? It's 3 years away. I mean, what does it matter what I think if Vance is going to win? I mean, it depends how the administration does. It depends how the midterms go. I mean, I think Vance has an advantage over Newsom if that's the matchup, especially in the Rust Belt. That doesn't guarantee Vance is going to win, but any close governor races for the midterms, Arizona, maybe Ohio. Yeah, we'll see about Ohio. I live in Ohio, so Ohio, in an off year, it's a little bit for Republicans. It depends if there's like Democrat incumbent, the Democrats can win. Sherrod Brown's won a bunch, but in a general election, the state is even in terms of like Senate races, the state's pretty conservative by like 4 or 5 points. Off year, it's gonna be closer. Let's just say that. Um, with Trump not being on the ballot, I mean, I think Republican. It's still a Republican state, but it's pretty close. Yeah, but they never would have gotten Gates through the process. He never would have gotten through. Ohio flipping blue that this November guaranteed. Maybe the Senate. I mean, there's a lot of independent people. I don't think that are really gonna like the Ramaswamy shit because he's been saying he's gonna make Ohio the Silicon Valley and all this, and there's a lot of negative. It's just people don't like this. Like people in the Midwest, they don't like this massive change and this. The message really doesn't resonate like that. Thoughts on importing hot OF girls? From which country? I don't know. Maybe Eastern Europe. You think PA and North Carolina might be R+4 because of how many people will leave Virginia? Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna play out like that. That would be a mass exodus. I know they've changed a lot of the stuff in Virginia after Spanberger won, and it's like super lib. And I guess we'll have to see how many people end up leaving. I mean, that would be great. Virginia's already a liberal state. We don't even really count it as a swing state, so fuck it. Let it go really liberal. Let all the Republicans defect to the swing states. Got the anti-Semitism ad. The blue square? Vivek will still win. He's campaigning hard. He does campaign hard. Yeah, I don't know. It's. I'd say he's the favorite to win. I don't know if it's gonna be close. North Carolina trending blue. I mean, depends. General election, North Carolina's still a swing state, but maybe slightly red. Dude, it's a funny troll comment. Second favorite state. I don't really have a second favorite state because I don't live in two different states. So I mean, Larry, it's lucky Larry. Larry Silverstein with the blue square. Did you pay that for that? Wait, who paid for that? Robert Kraft. Robert Kraft paid for that blue square. Apparently, people didn't like it. Jewish people didn't even like it. Every election cycle flips back and forth. It's how it always goes. No wonder we can't get anything accomplished in the country if it flips back and forth every cycle. I mean, yeah, it's been flipping back and forth, but no, the incumbents used to have an advantage. I mean, the incumbents have huge advantage, governor's level. Republicans have outraised Dems 600 million to 100 million. Well, I mean, hopefully that matters and that's actually like accurate. That's quite the difference. I watched a video of Joe Rogan being obsessed with AI music. It was pretty funny. Like I don't really get it. But he was just obsessed with AI music and he kept showing different people, different guests. Because I haven't really watched any Rogan episodes in many years, but apparently he's obsessed with AI music now. Dude, people hate AI. They just can't stand it. Most people just lose their minds when they see something that's AI. Do you think there are that many people sitting on the fence? You just don't feel people political beliefs are that volatile. I don't know, man. There are a lot of people. I think most people don't have really rigid ideologies. I think a lot of them are just they just kind of go with the flow. Many normies. You think our country might be cooked? I don't know what that means. I mean, the country has a massive debt problem. There's a big immigration problem. Yeah. I mean, I don't. I mean, to me, the country depends what you want out of a country. Do you want as many people as possible to be successful? Do you want better living conditions overall? Favorite meal? A hamburger. Dude, I don't know. I don't even like. I don't like cheeseburgers. I actually don't like cheese on my burger. That reminds me of them of the people asking Dave Portnoy about Pizzagate, and he got so angry. Enough to buy 2 BTC. You do understand BTC is going to 100 million per coin. That's not even possible, dude. There's not even the money supply for that to happen. You understand Bitcoin is already at over $1 trillion market cap. How is it going to even 10 million per coin would be the most valuable asset times 100 times 10? Because think about it. If it goes to 10 million, I think at 1 million the market cap is like 14 trillion. 10 million, the market cap is 140 trillion. Gold's market cap is 30 trillion. How is that going to happen? Yeah, I mean, I don't. I mean, cheese is fine. I like, breadsticks with cheese. I guess. What do you use cheese for? I don't know. Mozzarella. Pizza. Oh, you can't talk about pizza. You like cheese on your pizza? I don't really care about the World Cup. I mean, I guess the U.S. it'll be a spectacle because it's a big thing for the country, but the U.S. doesn't do well in soccer. Soccer is not a main sport in the U.S. Let's be honest. Although apparently it's getting more popular and it might overtake. They're saying soccer is going to overtake basketball and baseball, but I mean I don't see that happening. It's not likely. Oh, you're gonna ask me about pizza. Thoughts on them saying they have enough votes for the Save Act? Well, do they have 60 votes in the Senate? That's what they're saying. I don't think that's true. I mean, it already passed the House. I saw just a few hours ago. You think Trump would ask Barron how to reach the younger generations? But Trump's an entrenched boomer. I mean, he can only do so much with the younger generations. To me, I don't even really blame Trump with how old he is. You can't really pander, and even when you start pandering, you're that old. It just looks fake. It looks disingenuous. I mean, Trump is what he is. If he was in his 50s or something, I think it'd be a little bit different. With how old he is, I mean, this is just kind of what he is. Yeah, Ohio's gotten warmer. Ohio's definitely gotten significantly warmer. I'd imagine out west is finally cooling off if we're getting warmer. Trump has lived a completely different world than us. Well, any president, but yeah, especially Trump with him being a billionaire and everything like that. I mean, it's I don't know, man. Politics just seems like it's just narrative based. That's really all politics is. No matter what Trump does in terms of actual like low inflation or a better stock market or I mean lower gas prices or something. I feel like it's just a narrative based thing. If he doesn't have a good narrative, you're not going to win. It's just like you really have to think about it like who in the younger generation has a voice these days. Well, I mean, I think the younger generation, in terms of politics, it's hard to break through. You know, you got to be older. The Epstein bull, yeah, I know, 100%. The Epstein bullshit's not going away. I mean, maybe at a certain point it goes away because something else will happen, but it just rotates in cycles. It comes back. But I don't know what they're going to do. You know, they released and they said this is the final release we're doing, but now it's opened up an entire new can of worms. They dropped the 3 million pages on the Friday night and Alan Lichtman, oh that dude. Yeah, he'll definitely be predicting the Democrats to win, I'm sure, and telling people how it's a non-biased model or something. Remember that. It was Kirk. Yeah, Kirk was a huge asset to the right. There's just no denying it. And you're not going to replace someone like Kirk in terms of coalition building. That's really the thing. They tried to see now. You see liberals trying to downplay the Kirk's impasse. They call him a podcaster. Kirk was written when Kirk was alive. He was never really referred to as a podcaster. They started doing it after he died because they want to downplay the effect he had politically. You see that a lot with liberals now. Yeah, that was. I mean, there's a lot of people that are biased when it comes to the elections. It's going to happen when they give predictions, but I mean, the amount of liberals that thought Kamala was going to win is pretty insane, honestly. There's just, I mean, even by polling numbers, even by betting numbers, they said that it wasn't going to happen. Everything pointed to a Trump victory. Maybe not a Trump popular vote victory, but at least a Trump electoral college victory. Have you seen the Alex Jones meme going around? Dude, the old Patrick Bet David interview. In the actual Bet David interview, when Patrick Bet David's like LeBron James, and then Alex Jones is like retard, and he just says it in such a funny tone. He does the rapid fire. I'm gonna ask you some questions. LeBron James, retard. Colin Kaepernick, retard. And now it's a meme apparently. Now they're doing it for everyone. Alex Jones on PBD tomorrow. Is that serious? It's very entertaining when Alex Jones goes on podcasts. I will say that because normally I don't watch, but I would watch that. I would watch that. How's Casey Putsch faring in Ohio? Dude, he was interviewed, and this old white woman was like, "So are you a white nationalist?" And he was like, "Well, I'm white, and yeah, I would consider myself a nationalist." So, and you think about it, it's like, because obviously the connotation is, oh, you're racist. You believe white people are better and stuff. But this lady asked him about it. He was like, "Well, I am white, and I would say, a nationalist." So it's like this news interview he was doing. That would be a good that would be a good podcast if Alex Jones goes on PBD. Maxwell will get a pardon by Trump. Yeah, the thing is with Maxwell is they've already moved her. I'm not even sure she's in maybe some type of jail or I don't even know if she's in jail. I think she's in some type of holding thing which is really cushiony. Apparently they moved her. She's cooperated, and I guess the administration is trying to use her in a way. The thing is, nobody's gonna believe anything she says because she's in bed with the administration. Maxwell is, but they moved her to some cushiony holding cell or something. What's going on with Bondi? Is she covering for people who are just incompetent? Well, I think she's just been given orders on what she can say, and I think it's both. I think she's incompetent. She doesn't know how to communicate properly, and I think also, I mean, what else is she going to say? I mean, they're kind of hanging her out to dry. I mean, I think the administration has a lot of control on kind of the narrative on what gets released with Epstein. Yeah, I mean that's obviously a troll comment. That's obviously a troll comment. Well, I just think she's not good at communication. Judging by the way she handled this, she comes off as honestly a bitch. Honestly, I'll take the donation. I'll take the donation. Who is winning the World Series? I don't want to say I don't want to say the Dodgers, but I don't know. I mean, it's probably maybe the Phillies. I don't know. Probably the Dodgers though. Do you think Trump's hands are clean with Epstein? Wonder why he didn't redact his name but left the others out. Yeah, maybe as like a transparency thing, you do that. Um, but I think there's a lot of people that Trump knows that would be implicated in some of this stuff, and so it's really awkward for him. That's what I would say. It's hard to fully know for sure, but I think there's people that Trump knows and he's been friendly with, and so yeah, it makes it a challenging situation for him. And then you've got all these allegations, and people don't know, are they real? Is this just bullshit? Well, the Bad Bunny halftime views, as I saw it, apparently they went down by like 7 million people. So like 7 million people turn the TV off or change the channel during the halftime show. So I mean, I guess it made a little bit of a dent. I don't know. People can take that for however they want, but where's my cat? He would be probably sleeping in my hamper or clothes closet, probably. Thoughts on Bush being involved in some of the satanic ritual in the Epstein files? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's the part to where we don't know if that's true or not, and there's actually a lot more grotesque allegations against Bush. It doesn't really seem like they're true, but it just depends on the validity of it, I guess, in terms of looking into the files. Yeah, some of the stuff about the children and eating and stuff, does not seem realistic at all. But again, it's like, where's this coming from? What is the intel coming from? Yeah, I think the Supersonics will be a team. I think the Supersonics will be a thing again, probably by 2030 or 2031. Trump talking about tariffs. Maybe I'll go to this and see if they have anything. But a lot of this is going to be clips. Yeah, I mean, a lot of it seemed insane, 5 years ago, and a lot of it's come out to be true. So it's like, it's crazy the Bears cannot get this stadium situation in order while their little brother, tenant, Chicago Fire FC break ground in March for 2028. Well, I think, it's a lot more. A stadium, NFL stadium costs a lot more than one of the soccer, 30,000 capacity stadiums. So that they have a lot more hoops to jump through, I would imagine, in terms of regulations. And there's some type of tax hang up with them in Arlington Heights, I believe. That's the problem. Yeah, the Bondi clips are pretty brutal, man. I mean, it's like, yeah, I did see this about Switzerland will vote in mid-June to on a proposal to cap its population at 10 million. That's impossible. How can they cap their population? Their country will self-combust. We've been told by liberals if we don't keep increasing our population, the country will just cease to exist. Liberals told me we have to keep increasing the population or the country is just gonna poof. Can Alberta declare independence and we annex them like Russia did to eastern Ukraine? Well, no, that's not the same. That's not the same. Oh, you want? Well, why would we annex them? You're creating probably a headache by doing that. If you annex them, I mean, that's not necessary. We could have a relationship with them anyways if they wanted to be independent. We didn't need to annex them. Have you seen the Swiss woman goaltender? You've seen a lot of these women that they're showing. They're showing a lot of these women. The Winter Olympics. Well, I mean, I guess the demographics check out for that. Do you think China will invade Taiwan in 2027? Yeah, I think they said 2027 or 2028 or somewhere around there. That's probably. But it's a lot of it is it's like gray zoning. It's different type of warfare, and I don't know if there'll be an actual full-fledged invasion. They want to like absorb the island and take it over through bureaucratic means possibly. But Taiwan is a strong independent country. It's I think it's going to be hard for the Chinese to fully take over Taiwan. There's going to be a ton of resistance. And I know that seems like a mess to cipher through. That I mean, think about Russia, Ukraine, and then this situation. Oh, they try and take it over. How long would that last? You love how they're celebrating the Save Act passing the House, and we know the Senate is the hurdle. I know. It's like all political theater, I guess, to try and rev up the base. Like, what's there to celebrate? I mean, are we really gonna do this again with the filibuster for the 90th time? or are they going to try and compromise and and change the bill, and so liberals will vote yes? I mean, is there any pressure on any of these liberal senators to vote yes because 80% of the people want it? They're just saying the country's wrong. 80% of the population is wrong, or I guess for them it'd be like 30%. Yeah, the Winter Olympics. The Winter Olympics are better than I thought. Interesting location too. Yeah, but look at the number of what is this, federal employees? The number of federal employees went way down. What year is that? 2014. Well, now it's even lower, I guess. I mean, but you would think that the federal number of federal employees would keep going down with the outsourcing to AI and also just the government bloat. I mean, this is what Trump wanted to do. Lindsey Vaughn leg. Yeah, that was a bad. I mean, you already have a torn ACL, and they allow her to compete in that. That was a bad crash. Bondi legit seems low IQ the way she speaks. It's not good. Her communication is not good at all. It's just not. With something like that, if you legitimately are just going to filibuster the entire time, you want to, I would say, portray more likable energy or like a calmness. If you're going to be combative and there's really no substance to your argumentation, it's going to make you look very dumb. Yeah, Winter Olympic women. Well, the Summer Olympics are the Summer Olympics are going to be in LA. I guess. Oh, the World Cup is this year. Yeah, the World Cup is this year. The Summer Olympics are 28. Dude, the World Cup honestly is going to be so annoying because you're not going to be able to avoid it on social media. Trump has all these deals. How many of these events do you think Trump's going to go to? They paid him. They had to have paid him a fuck ton of money. I mean, because they award him the peace honor and they give him all this shit. FIFA or whatever the fuck it is, they paid him a lot to be like a partner. I swear. Yeah, the U.S. is pretty low in terms of medal count in terms of winter, but the Winter Olympics are normally dominated. I feel like, well, Russia can't compete in them, but it's like Norway and Sweden. Dude, I love this engagement farm. Like, what, this does not matter at all. 25% Vance wins, bro. Like, what is it's irrelevant. It's an irrelevant. It doesn't matter. It's 3 years before this election, but we have to like it's like this huge 370 comments. People. I guess if it gets views. Literally, these predictive markets, all they have to do is like tweet out graphics like this, and people will be like, "We got to comment on it."
I want to put some names to you that have been in the news connected to Epstein files this week. The US Commerce Secretary, Howard Lutnick, I think you were just alluding to this, has now confirmed in his hearing that he visited Epstein's island in 2012. Now, that's contradicting his previous claims that he cut all ties with him years earlier, and was, of course, several years after Epstein's conviction for being a paedophile. And he said, I did have lunch with him as I was on a boat going across on a family vacation. My wife was with me, as were my 4 children and nannies. We had lunch on the island. That is true for an hour. Now, that doesn't mean he did anything wrong, but it does mean he was not telling the truth originally about the timeline of his relationship with Epstein. And it does beg the question, why are you taking your family to an island owned by a convicted pedophile?
I would never do that as a mom. I want to protect children with every fiber of my being, and would do that. But you would be shocked, Pierce, at some of the names that I have seen that came across the DOJ in emails that the DOJ is protecting. And we're talking about people on both sides of the aisle. We're talking about famous people, rich people, people in power, prime ministers, former presidents, et cetera, media personalities that are named in these files. And that's why I say this is going to go down as the greatest cover-up, one of the greatest
Media
cover-ups in American
personalities.
history. And I don't believe the girls are actually going to see justice, which is why it's going to be incumbent upon people like Democrat Ro Khanna, Republican Thomas Massey. I'm a Republican myself who's willing to name some of those names in our committee work, on the floor of the House, whatever it takes, because this kind of thing cannot continue to go on.
Yeah, I mean, if think about how many people are involved, I mean, obviously it's a uniparty cover up.
We are told that following that tragic ending, Erica could not even, or didn't want to move any of his items out of their place in their bedroom, bathroom. That's what she told the New York Times a few days later when she welcomed them into that apartment, the one that you're seeing there. Well, then fast forward to December 12th, and as a part of her Shabbat Shalom PR blitz, she conducted her very first interview from Charlie's home office. She gave that interview to Glenn Beck. And during that interview, she was playing the part, as you are about to see, of this is my first time back in his office. And she keeps looking down and she says, sorry, I'm looking down. I'm just looking at all of these things that Charlie left over on his desk. The obvious insinuation to the public being that she had not yet traversed into that space. She had not gone through the things. She had not seen the last things that he wrote on the notepad. And yet, curiously, that wedding photo is missing. We are told that
Well, she really cracked that case.
To my right is an email that was sent by the victim's lawyers to the DOJ. It was a list of names not to redact. A list of names not to release. What did the DOJ do with this email? They released this email in the document production. Literally the worst thing you could do to the survivors, you did. And they're getting phone calls. A lot of these people didn't want to be known. And we know you touched the document because you redacted one name and you redacted the lawyer's name, but you left the survivor's name there. The next document I want to show you.
Well, now, isn't it getting a bit ridiculous? It's like they want everything released, but now they want things redacted.
That was in the title, the victims' survivors' names, all right? The title of this one is Child Sex Trafficking, Co-Conspirators, fully redacted. And By the way, I'm going to unredact them here. Les Wexner is in this. Now, your deputy attorney general said, oh, well, he appears hundreds of times in the files, but he doesn't appear in this file until I forced you to release it, where he's listed as a co-conspirator, not to tax evasion, but to child sex trafficking, not to prostitution, not to money laundering, child sex trafficking. And then finally, what we have here is the third exhibit that I have is emblematic of the FD 302 release. These are the documents that we need that you're holding on to and over redacting because they have the names of the men who are implicated. How do we know? Because the survivors gave testimony to the FBI, and it's in there. And what happens when you go to the portal at the DOJ to look at what's behind this redaction? Another redaction. So we can't even see them. And then there's some of these files you've pulled down from the website that we will never see because we can't search the redactions. So I have several questions for you. Who's responsible? Are you able to track who in your organization made this massive failure and released the victims' names? Are you able to track who it was that obscured Les Wexner's name as a co-conspirator in an FBI document? Do you have that kind of accountability?
I believe Wexner's name was listed more than 4,000 times.
Yeah, I already told you that. This is where he's listed as a co-conspirator.
Can I finish my answer? Come on, let me finish my answer. We corrected that within 40 minutes. He was already, you're acting like everybody's trying to cover up Wexner's name.
Reclaiming my time.
I'm going to answer this question.
Reclaiming my time.
Mr.
Chairman.
This isn't how this works.
Can I have my time back? Mr. Chairman.
The gentlelady can give her answer. The time belongs to the gentleman from
All
Kentucky.
right, I'm reclaiming my time.
Can I give my answer?
So
Yes.
I'm going to put the language of the bill up on the screen.
Chairman,
Because I
may I
have
give
another
my
question.
answer on that?
Here's
It's a political
the question.
joke, and I need to give my answer on that.
We'll let the Attorney General respond, and then the gentleman can move to his next
Chairman,
question.
it's my time.
Within 40 minutes, you asked me a question.
You can give
Within
me-
40 minutes, Wexner's name was added back.
Within 40 minutes
You
of me catching you red-handed.
There was one redaction out
Where
of
he's
over
listed as a
4,700,
co-conspirator.
and we invited
what?
you
Show
in.
the video.
This guy has Trump derangement syndrome. He needs to. You're a failed
He
politician.
Gentlemen,
You need to
I
get
want
on
you to
these
watch the video.
matters.
Mr.
Chairman, please restore his time and remind the witness of the
himself,
rules
there
here.
is no credible information. None. If there were, I would bring the case yesterday that he trafficked to other individuals.
Is that your position as well?
What just happened?
My position
Did Kash Patel just spawn in?
is any victim who comes forward, of course, we would love to hear from them. 1-800-CALL-FBI. Did you ask Merrick Garland that the last 4 years? Did you talk about Epstein?
I am reclaiming my
the
time.
last
I'm
4
glad you're
years?
asking about Merrick Garland.
You don't get to reclaim
because
time
this
when
is
you don't-
bigger than
when you can't-
Watergate.
when I don't answer a question the
this
way you
goes
want.
over 4 administrations. You don't have to go back to Biden. Let's go back to Obama. Let's go back to George Bush. This cover-up spans decades, and you are responsible for this portion of it.
And that's
now,
where the
I want to
most
know at
transparent-
what point did the FBI and the DOJ decide that Lex Wessner was not a co-conspirator? Because our Epstein Files Transparency Act requires you, please put it
Time is
back on the
up.
screen, please, to release the internal decision about whether to prosecute him or not, and it's not in the files, and it's not in the files for any of these other men.
Time of the gentleman has
Which,
expired.
may she answer?
And he's a hypocrite because he voted against the ban that we were talking about on deep fake AI porn. Only 2 people voted against it, and you were one of them, hypocrite.
The gentleman's time has expired.
Yeah, and then she does the whataboutism there at the end. Oof. There's a lot going on. Yeah, I mean, when you do the whataboutism like that, it's just you're not addressing anything. It just makes it seem like a complete cover up. Sounds like toddlers. I know. I think a lot of that is probably them understanding that it all goes on social media, so they don't want to be dominated, like talked over. So, they, especially Bondi, might be trying to overcompensate for, like, I mean, them just not having anything. So you want to try and control the room, but I don't know.
That is related to the person that we now have video of outside Nancy Guthrie's door. Are those the same people, the person at the door and the person writing the note?
Well, I can't say that that's the person who wrote the note. They haven't told me that. But
Yeah.
I think it's pretty easy to connect the dots that the person there, who is completely covered up, who also has a gun, is probably the person who abducted Nancy. Now, whether that person had help and that's the person who wrote the ransom note, I don't know. But they believe, and again, I don't want to say they are positive that the person is from the Tucson area. That is what they believe. And that they believe this ransom note is connected to the person who abducted Nancy.
So obviously that it's legitimate and it's from the Tucson area, that person is, which I know Harvey.
Yeah, maybe I could do a video about the Japanese Empire. I don't know. It doesn't fascinate me as much. But
Is something you had been saying based on your own receiving of the note and how it read and what you had seen. So this corroborates that. Now, the ransom note that you received had that Bitcoin address for a ransom payment. We're now 24 hours and 25 minutes past the deadline for that payment. And I know you have still been checking for any payments. What are you seeing?
So about 12 minutes ago, we saw activity in that account.
Activity like what?
That's what I can't talk about. There are reasons I can't, but all I can say is there is now activity in that Bitcoin account.
Okay, now let me just ask one more question and you'll share with me what you can. But when you say activity, is that you can see money is going into the account, or are you able to tell whether it's money going in or going out?
Well, it would only show, as I understand this, money going in. And the only thing you would see is money. And Aaron, that's all I can say.
Okay. All right. So obviously that's crucial information. So you're saying about 12 minutes ago.
So what, they're paying the ransom? You were thinking the other day about how much of a fraud Trump is. He didn't stamp authority during the BLM riots. Yeah, it's when you're president. No, I agree. I mean, the BLM stuff got way out of control, and that entire month was a fever dream with the COVID going on and that. But the Minnesota stuff, he kind of backed down. Yeah, I mean, he could have used more executive authority, I guess. That's right. TMZ did cheer. Well, they're like very liberal. That's terrible. They cheered when Charlie Kirk, was confirmed dead. This could kill Bitcoin. What do you mean it could kill Bitcoin? A Bitcoin wallet received it like a ransom payment or whatever. I don't think that really. I mean, hopefully what happens is because they're utilizing it during this kidnapping. I got like a pimple in my ear that's annoying me. Well, the reason it's on TV is because it creates conversation. The Guthrie stuff, because this is a very unique thing to have happen. I mean, it's terrible, but that's what sells. Pimple patch. I never really. The thing is I don't get very many pimples. I think it's just kind of a luck thing on whether or not you get pimples, but I don't have any pimple patches or anything like that. I think if it's large enough pimple, you could probably use it for an ear, but it depends if it's like, because it's hard to probably put it on. Yeah, the thing is with pimples, you eat like shit, you'll probably get some pimples. You got invited to sit with the president at his box. Which sporting event would you attend? World Cup or UFC White House? Yeah, I mean, World Cup is a spectacle. I think you got to go to the White House. The White House would be, because it's such a unique thing. Is Trump just worthless now? No, Trump's not worthless. There's still important things that the administration is doing, but there's been some hang-ups, I would say. Now, it's saying he's worthless. That's like an overreaction. That's like that's an overreaction. Trump has executive authority, so he has supreme control. There's been things that have not been handled great, but they a lot of the stuff that they've done is, as it pertains to immigration, it's very good. Yeah, I think the Bears are staying in Chicago, or at least they're staying in Illinois. Thoughts on Iowa senators trying to lure Bears to Iowa? Yes, it's a real thing. They're proposing a new NFL stadium. Yeah, I know. I did a video on it. Trust me, I know. I don't think it's not. That's not a serious proposal. That's ridiculous. Why would the ownership of the Bears move them from Chicago and that population center and the fan base to a very small city in Iowa? I don't see how that's realistic at all. Yeah, I mean, I think the administration has done. I mean, they've done some good things. They have done some good things. There's been some unfortunate events that have transpired. There's been some unfortunate handlings of situations by some of the cabinet members, but that's just kind of that just goes with the territory, I think. Yeah, if Iowa got a team, what would it have to be, like an NBA team? Maybe an NHL team? Yeah, I know. He's back in. He's asking for dating advice. I think I've given him all the dating advice I can give him. You want to readjust your stance on Trump? He's making America great again. The person of Trump you don't support? Yeah, I mean, there's been some stuff that's come out, but a lot of it's hearsay from what I see. It's a lot of it is just unsubstantiated rumors. Those unforced events are completely self-imposed by Trump and the administration. Well, I agree with you on Epstein. This entire thing has been. I mean, I agree with There's no way you can defend. The only thing I'll say about Epstein is obviously it was a Republican-led initiative to get these files, and the Democrats had all this time in office and they didn't want to do anything. But I mean, yeah, they definitely, when they got in, they didn't do a good job on the release of these and the communication. Really, the communication. The narrative is just lost. When they've lost the narrative and they can't get it back. Even releasing 3 million of these files. I mean, you have Bondi on the complete defensive. Can't answer a single question. Has to do like 10 whataboutisms. Do you think Trump secures Canada before 2020? There's no chance they're going to get Canada. It's just not realistic. I mean, they can't even get Greenland. They're not going to get Canada. But Canada wouldn't even make sense for the U.S. from a Republican standpoint. Yeah, I mean, when you see Trump meeting with Netanyahu for the 7th time, and look, obviously there's going to be something that happens with Iran. It's wherever when they start moving military. I mean, it's whatever. I don't know what it is. I think Trump, they said, was waiting. Trump is waiting for the right moment, basically. But I thought that strike was going to happen 2 or 3 weeks ago. But what is the prize for the March Madness bracket winner? You get to be a moderator. No, because I wouldn't be able to trust the person, but you get I don't know, you get 1,000 Dogecoin. Now I'd have to buy the Dogecoin to give them. Maybe you get some Ethereum. Just give a toaster. That's actually a decent prize, toaster. Depends on the person that wins. Walking back on immigration, entertaining amnesty. Yeah, but the amnesty is such a small thing. I mean, how many of these people? If anything, I think Trump has limited visas significantly. So that probably cancels out any type of amnesty that was given. And the amnesty that he gave was really, and I don't agree with any amnesty, but it was more of a play ball type thing to where people demanded it. Otherwise, it would be a big problem and certain prices would have to go up. The amnesty, I think, is a really small amount of people. And with the think about the visa restrictions that Trump has put in place, and now they're not accepting new visas, and he's got a travel ban on a lot of these countries, so they're not even accepting immigrants from a lot of these third world countries now. And the immigration, I hear, has just gone down to nothing. They say it's a net negative migration. They've never seen this since 1964. I mean, they said now the white population is back up by like 1.5%, 2%. It's like crazy. You really can't criticize Trump on the immigration. I mean, the only thing they say is, well, the deportations are not good enough. But even the deportations they've started to creep up to like, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 million or 5 million. I mean, it's something like that. I don't know though. I mean, it's something like that. You think I should do it? Yeah, but a gift card is a weak prize. I might say, listen. But the thing is, if somebody wins and they're a random person, I'm gonna have. I could think of a good prize, but maybe something on Amazon. I think a toaster is a very good prize. I mean, but it'd have to be a good toaster. I can't skimp on it. What is it, like what is it, $50? A good toaster is like $100. A good toaster might be $200. So I don't know if I could do that. I can't do that. There's no way at $16 that thing would combust if a $16 toaster. If he continues on the path, I'm gonna have to capitulate. Well, what do you mean? I mean, what path? It seems like there's been some issues and stuff, and what happens with an administration. But I mean, maybe we'll see what happens with Trump. I mean, I haven't been as motivated to do videos because it's a dead time. It's a dead time, and it's just all this Epstein stuff. Now, I'd have to get a better toaster than a 1479 toaster. That would be pathetic if I did that. That would be bad for branding. Listen, I could get a nice toaster for someone for 40 or 50 bucks, probably. I could get a pretty nice one of those advanced toasters. They probably got like a screen, a toaster with a screen or something for 50 or 60 bucks. You could do that. If you could cover the right-wing drama like Sarah Stock, it brings views. Yeah, but the problem is that's just kind of like slop, Like, what am I gonna be, like, an influencer now if I do that? I don't like. How do I don't even gossip like that, right? So I look at that stuff and I just don't think that's really my avenue. You want an air fryer? That's going to be harder to swing. Yeah, air fryers have been a huge thing that people like. $100 TV. I mean, $100 TV is probably pretty decent, honestly. TVs are not that expensive. Did you hear about Washington State wanting a millionaire tax of 9.9 state tax on millionaires? Dude, the thing is, I think these liberal states, and I don't know, we'll see how it develops. In the United States, they have to understand it's freedom of movement. They can just leave. They go to another state, no penalty, whatever. These liberal states are going to lose so much business because of these insane taxes. Just follow the biggest chud accounts, but it's all slop. Yeah, I mean, I think everyone gets recommended that shit on right wing Twitter. How's the midterms shaping up? I did a video on it. You can take a look. I mean, it's the Senate looks decent. The House is going to be tough. What if we made every state have a millionaire tax? What is the millionaire tax exactly? So, like, hypothetically, because I don't know how these people, but if you make $1 million, I wonder if that tax goes through. I wonder what the take home is if you make $1 million. If they do a millionaire's tax, is it like 550? Like, I feel like they take probably half your money. In California, they take over half. If you make a certain amount of income, I think it might be even higher for California because the cost of living is so high. That's an interesting remedy, the honey. I mean, I'll take a look at it. Zuckerberg relocating to Florida. I don't even know where Zuckerberg lives right now. Europe had the best standard of living when they had high taxation of the wealthy. Yeah, but also it's different demographics. It's a lot easier to have a high standard of living. I mean, look at the Scandinavian countries and their tax situation. You're comparing apples to oranges because it's way different demographics. you know, that affects everything. It permeates through the entire population. Yeah, dude, that election. Yeah, but I couldn't stay up. I mean, honestly, if I stayed up another hour, I wonder how much. Well, that is funny to think about. But honestly, that was a brutal one. If I stayed up another hour, I probably made another $2,000 off of that. But I just couldn't do it. That was a brutal night. I mean, it was good, but that that was a tough talking night. Do you think we should strive America to be like how it was in the 50s? It's not possible. I mean, look at the pop. What do you're how many people do you have to deport to get that? I mean, that's not realistic. You're not going to get that. I mean, you can try and turn it back, but I mean, so many people talk about deporting all these people. It's not realistic though. It's not realistic in terms of where the U.S. is at. Europe didn't spend much on defense. That's true. That's part of the social programs. Also, smaller populations and different demographics. No, I don't think Iowa's going to win the Big Ten. The Big Ten is too loaded for football for Iowa to be competitive at that level. But they could win like 9 games, maybe. Yeah, remigration of hundreds of millions of people it would, you know how long that, I mean, it's just not realistic. Yeah, I did see that thing about Discord. That's crazy if they actually do that. I mean, what are you gonna have to show your fucking ID? It's gonna ruin the user base on Discord. Yeah, we can look into maybe adding a prize. I mean, I don't know if it really improves. Normally those videos do well anyways that I do. I mean, I guess if you add a prize, it might help a little bit the viewership maybe. How many wins for UCLA? I have no clue. It's hard to say. Probably 4. They're struggling, right? Maybe 5. They're struggling as a program. Yeah, I don't think Sydney Sweeney wants to really be involved in politics. It's terrible for people's brains because it splits their fan base. So I think she's gonna try and stay out of it if I had to guess. Best new stadium being built across all the. I think the Commander Stadium is pretty sweet that they're building, kind of in the shape of almost a monument. Thinking about all the other NFL, the Titans' exterior is pretty cool, but the interior sucks. The Browns, I'm not a huge fan of the Browns' new stadium. The Bears, I'm not a big fan of what I've seen. Other sports, there's actually there's an impressive European stadium that's going up. I know that. soccer stadium that probably has a capacity of like 90K or 100K. I saw there was like a major maybe I think there's a major stadium going up in Vietnam that has like a pretty crazy. They're all built the exact same though. Like all these soccer stadiums, they just have this massive overhang. Many of them have like this very small, like, you know, oval in the center where it allows for some light to come in. I don't like that design. Browns playing in Paris, I think it's stupid. Yeah, the Titans stadium was terrible in Nashville. They obviously had to get a new one. No, I really don't. I don't have a bad gut. I don't think I have a bad digestion. It's not so much bad digestion, but I think my foot is actually feeling better. I got this thing that I roll on it now. Yeah, the House were passed it, but they're not going to be able to pass it in the Senate. The Save bill, Save Act. That's not going to be able to be passed in the Senate unless they nuke the filibuster. I don't know. I mean, if they do that, then they could pass it. But all the liberal senators are going to be against it, so they're not going to get to 60. What's the best they can do? 54 if Fetterman flips. Saudi flag football. Yeah, that's stupid. Flag football is not good to watch on TV. It's a terrible watching. I don't really. I mean, maybe some people like it as an entertainment aspect. I don't think. I feel like flag football doesn't really play well on TV. Yeah, they're literally paying all these players. It's just hilarious. The Saudis are playing Brady to go out and play flag football. Like. No, I don't think I'm going to go on a crazy low carb diet. Rand Paul will vote against it. Well, I saw something where there might be 4 Republicans that vote against it. Collins, Rand Paul. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this live stream. I'm getting it there. I don't know what your question was. All right, I'm going to end the live stream there, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Rasmussen reports Mark Mitchell this morning gave Trump new poll numbers. It's very low because of. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of those. I think the polls right now are a little bit down on Trump, but I'm not sure. I mean, it's a snapshot. It's doesn't really matter if the polls would look better in a few months, 3 or 4 months, better economy. I will see. All right, guys. I'll see you later. Make sure you like the stream down below. Follow me on X, everything like that.